What's up, y'all? Back again. Third video in this series, at least. This series is going to be like Know Thyself, because if you notice in the first two videos, I capitalized certain words, all caps for the word, and that was for it to stand out. And the previous two were know. Well, the first one was know, the second one was thy, and this one is self. I got a poem, of course, relating to self. To me, everything relates to self, Most High, everything, because everything is within. But this poem, it's actually called Examining the Examination. And that's basically just saying, the examination is the test. And it's just really looking at it, looking at the test. Of course, you pass the test, and then, in this case for me, it was a test, and I passed it, and then, but afterwards, I was kind of like, I was a little lost, because I was like, why do I feel the way I feel? I thought I was past that. It was like some aftermath within, like, emotions and stuff I felt. And I was like, damn, I thought I was past it already, and I had to really, that just showed me every day, it's like you gotta keep working, you gotta keep going. I mean, it's never gonna be to a point where, you could just lay it down and it's just no more work or whatever. I mean, that's just how I feel about it. But I'm out here in Nebraska, man. It's winter time, autumn, winter, it's all here. It's, the temperature done dropped. It's cold, you know what I mean? I just did a few laps, got a little walk in, but staying warm, brought my coat with me, and but like I said, the name of the poem itself is Examining the Examination, and it goes like this. Recalling what I studied, my understanding has me overstand the test. Emotions caused me to reflect. Then I found growth as the cause, finally coming to the realization of peace as the effect. Eradicating old thinking patterns takes discipline like Saturn. Dialoguing with my old ego as it fights for survival, with consciousness as its arch rival. This is truth without my hand on the Bible. I court universal laws to prevent self-libel. My path is more left than right. I write bright because I only seek light. Dark sayings adapted to adepts. Students, we in light. And that's the end of that. And certain things in there I say. A lot of my poetry is esoteric, and it's some of it is esoteric, you know what I mean? Go both ways, but like I said in my first video, it's whatever you take from it. Certain people that had the same kind of mentality that I might have, they might see exactly where I was coming from within the poem or whatever, and what I was saying and what I was getting at, and the lesson I learned, and and they'll be able to take from it. And people who don't think like me, they still can take things from it. But basically, this was breaking down the road to self-mastery and enlightenment. Becoming the best you. That's what this poem was basically about. That's how you examine the examination, because like I said, this was inspired by a test that I passed, but like I said, afterwards it was more so like I was upset, and I was reflecting, and I was starting to see, I was going back in the old thinking patterns, and I had to wrestle with it and see what was going on. and you gotta be real with yourself. That's the only way you're gonna be able to grow. That's the truth to me. But also when I said old thinking patterns, defeating them or whatever, it takes discipline like Saturn. And astrologically, Saturn represents structure and discipline and stuff like that. Just threw that in there, just in case people might be lost on that. Like, what do you mean Saturn? What is that? But I try to. I just put things in my poetry that, stuff that I've learned, things I find interesting, and things that I think might come across as somewhat profound or whatever, what poetry is about. I mean, this form of poetry, the way I write, I try to be colorful, do different things like that to keep things interesting, keep you thinking, and it's just good. But on a side note, going off, if you allow me to digress, I came across this book when I was in Utah, when I was at the CR England terminal. I'm gonna bring it back, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's kind of glary, whatever. But I don't know. I was going through the books they had, and I started on a couple of them, looked at a couple of them, but this one stood out to me. This Glenn Gould, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm not certain if I'm pronouncing his last name right, but it's a good read. And come to find out, like, things this guy, he's very intelligent, very erudite when it came to a lot of different things. And I'm gonna actually read it again. I'm almost done reading it, but I'm gonna read it again and go through. It's a lot of musical jargon that I wanted to learn. He actually played the piano. That's one of my, if not my favorite instruments. And he uses a lot of different words that I want to learn. That's just how I do things. I mean, that's, people ask me, I've had people ask me, like, what's the best way, to learn things and stuff like that. And it's all about finding things you're interested in, that you find interesting, and then you read up on it, and one thing leads to another. Just like music. I mean, you listen to music, people say certain things, and you like, what is that? And then you go back and you start researching it, and but it all started with something that you liked, the artist that you liked, a speaker that you liked or whatever, and you went back and you started. It's because everything connects, and that's what it is. So, but yeah, this guy right here, he did like a lot of variations on like classical guys like Bach and I don't want to say Beethoven, but I know Bach for sure. He did different people, and he did variations on their stuff. And the way, I like the way he broke down the way he, went about playing the music and stuff, and his style and how he did things. And he was said to be very eccentric with his styles and the way he dressed and did different things, but he used to go into different characters and all that. I mean, this guy was something. He was funny, man. It's a good read, but I mean, hey, I like reading about different things like that. And it just so happened that, like I said, this dude played the piano, and I like the piano. But yeah, I hope you like the poem. Like I said, all the truckers, we getting ready. We out here. It's getting cold. There's snow about to hit. All the truckers over the road, and in those areas where there's known to be a lot of snow. We preparing for it. So be safe, be alert, even if you're not a trucker, all the people out there driving, you know, be on the lookout. You know what I'm saying? Stay on point. And don't cut trucks off, yo. I don't road rage, because I'd kill myself if I did all that road raging. Because I ain't doing nothing but making my own self mad, and then I'm raging, and then what? I'm driving for 8-10 hours at a time, man. But yeah, man, it's dangerous. In Atlanta, it's crazy. Every time I drive through Atlanta, something happens, man. This dude jumped in front of the truck. I don't know, man. But yeah, look out for the truckers, man. You know, we gotta look out for the regular drivers, because we professional drivers, so we gotta overlook a lot of stuff and different things like that. But that's all I got. I ain't gonna make this video too long. I wanted to go ahead and get it done. I had that poem I wrote that a couple days ago. So with that, I'm gonna bring this to an end. Hope everybody is growing. Hope things come together for everybody. You know, hope you're living in our purpose and all that. So until next time, I get at y'all. Peace.